Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's Chris here. Wanted to bring you guys a little update on Digibyte. Right now we're at 2.4 cents. And guys, what I'm doing here, I want to show you when I'll be looking to buy Digibyte again. At the areas that I'm going to be looking at when I think we can, have some potential positive move here from Digibyte. Because when they happen, obviously guys, like when these moves happen, they happen really fast and they happen really hard. You can see it here. But what I want you guys to really remember is to pay attention to that volume on these moves. So if you guys could like, subscribe, all that, I really appreciate it. So do you see this block of volume here, guys, that came in? And also this orange line here that you'll see that's kind of lit up here. When I mark, there it is. That's going to be my 5-day exponential moving average. And that's one that I really pay attention to because it's that short-term volatility, okay? And when we turn that into support, that's when I really look to add to my positions, okay? I look for that alongside with this increasing volume here. See this huge block of volume as opposed to all these that we've had here? That's a really big deal, guys, and we've got pushed up really hard from that, okay? So really keep that in mind, and then once you start to have these pullbacks, you'll see that the volume's going to start decreasing, and that's another sign, okay? And then right here, guys, what happened again? Volume starts to come back up, comes back in, and explodes up. So really pay attention to these things. It's something that I've really been just studying a lot on volume and just like bear market volume, bull market volume, different type of things like that. And you can see here on Digibyte, we're also holding this lower trend line. So at the bottom of this touch is when I'm potentially going to be looking to add more to my position, and that would be more so around like that 2-cent range, because right now, guys, what you have to pay attention to, obviously everything's correlated off Bitcoin, right? So if Bitcoin's going to go down, we're going to have some troubles, and it seems to be going down a little bit right now. But take a look at these moving averages that you can see right here, and you can see that in the yellow we have our 100-day moving average, which is going to be a really big resistance, and that's around 3 cents there. And then we have our 50 moving average, which I would really like to get above, guys, because if we could close up above this 50, then we would have room to at least run up to this 100, and there's some good profits to be made there. Because you got to take this percentage here. So even look, if we could close above the 50 and say we even bounce off the 100-day moving average right there, that's a 15% gain that you can make, guys. So I want you to really pay attention to that type of stuff. The white line is our 20 EMA, which is another really important one in crypto. And then we have our 5. And you can see all of them right now with our price. Those are all going to be acting as resistance right now. So we have an oversold stock RSI. We have all our moving averages overhead right now. So now is not the time when I would be trying to buy Digibyte, if that makes sense. I would want to wait for that pullback, see if it's going to bounce off this trend line potentially before we make the next move up, okay? And the percent gain that you can see from this last move, and I always like to do this just so you can kind of see where it's at. We had this hammer candle here with a longer wick on the top. So, it's kind of close to that spinning top type doji candle there. So let's go all the way up to the high there. And guys, that's 33%. Those are really, really good gains. You have to think about that, okay? Besides just long-term hodling, these swings up and down, that volatility can be amazing. I mean, if you're able to buy down in here and you even sell up at this top here, that's a 34% gain, guys. So really pay attention to that, okay? Keep that in mind. And remember that this stock RSI on the day is oversold as well, and you can see how we crossed down. So we're starting to head back down to that negative here. So my guess would be that we're going to test this trend line again potentially. That's a very good chance that it could happen. Next thing I want to look at here is the MACD, and you can also see this candle here, guys. This is an ugly candle right here, at least so far. We're going to see where it closes. The day's still early, but we're going to have to see if we can close back up above that 5, but that 5 moving average is starting to point down as well. You want that pointing up, and we want to be closing up above that. That's a really big deal. So MACD next. I always like to look at that, especially on the daily. So MACD on the daily, we did have our crossover, and you can see where it crossed right here, guys, and we had that little bit of a run after that. But you can see we're starting to flatten out, and this is actually starting to point down a little bit, and the histogram's starting to tick down a little bit. So we have a little bit of that bearish divergence there that's taking place. Next one, let's check our Bollinger Bands. And these are just the main ones that I look at, guys. I obviously go more in depth when I'm doing it myself. I'm looking at the hour, the 4-hour, all that type of stuff, but I don't want to hold you here forever. You just want to see a quick video and show you what I'm thinking. So right now, guys, this is our middle band right here, and we're actually hitting right on it. We're a little bit below our middle band, so we would want to close up above that, but you can see the middle band's pointing down. these bars are starting to contract a little bit, so we had that volatility up here, and especially here when we had that big drop, there's a lot of volatility. But hopefully things can tighten up right in this range, and then we can make another move up and test these all-time highs here. Not the overall all-time highs, but the all-time highs that we just recently had when we had this run up here. So that is around like 3.4, 3.2 cents, somewhere right in that range. So there's a lot of gains to still be made if we have that up. Right now we're down 5.32%, guys. So it's one to really pay attention to. And like overall though, guys, if you say you were just buying the hodl and all that, and you're looking for this 3 to 5 years down the road, something like that, these probably are going to be phenomenal prices. We know the all-time high for Digibyte was around like 16 cents or so, and you know, this is a coin, guys, it could probably go to $1 down the road, no doubt about that, or even higher. It just depends on what's going to happen. You know, that they have a really good project, they have a good team, different things like that. So keep that in mind. Next thing we're going to look at is the RSI. All right, so your RSI is also pointing down. So keep that one in mind, guys. Right there. So what we were having here, we did have these higher lows. So you can see the low here, and then we had a higher low here. And then this could be a higher low, but we can't allow it to go any lower than this right here, around that 40. And we really want to stay above the 40, because if you get underneath the 40 on the RSI, then it starts to act as resistance on you, and you have to break back through that. So we want to keep that as support. So let's mark that as well, just so you guys can see. So there's our 40 line, and that's what I'd like to see, guys. If this could come down, bounce off this line, it could probably be close to in here, and see if we could get a bounce off there, then we can attempt to break out past this 59.6, we'll call it 60, which is overhead resistance. So right there, there's the channel that we're working in, okay? So keep that in mind when you're making these decisions, guys. Remember, things move really, really fast here, and you're always going to have another opportunity for a trade. That's the big thing. Don't FOMO. Don't chase anything. I've learned that in the past about FOMO. Remember that anything that goes up is going to come back down. We've seen this market. We know how volatile it is. One day it can be up 12%. Next day it can be slammed down 30%. It just is what it is. So don't FOMO into any positions. There's always going to be time. Remember that. And that's something that I had to learn as well. So we want to keep this trend line in mind, right? So we're going to see if we can hold this trend line, obviously, because that's a big deal. Otherwise, the lows here are about 1.6 cents. If we break below that, we could go down really far, because that's overall main support, guys. And do you see this double top? And I just want to go through this with you. We came up here, we hit here, came back down, came back up, hit it exactly, guys, to the tick, around 5 cents or so, and then we had that pullback again. And what I also like to do is measure these pullbacks. So this fib retracement here, so right now we need to get through this 236. That's a really big deal, guys. It's really hard overhead resistance, but it can also be really good support once you break past it and come back and test it again. That 236 is a monster, okay? So along with the 236 and all these moving averages, you can see there's a lot of resistance, and we're going to need volume like this, guys, somewhere right in here to show up. So really look for that volume. Take your time, be patient, look for those entries. Try to get a bargain. That's my advice to you. Try to get a bargain, okay? Put some bids down there and see what happens. So this one here, guys, that came back up all the way, which is incredible to actually see it move all the way back up. But we had that double top, that M we talk about, and then we fell back down. So keep your eye out on the Fibonacci. That's a really big deal, and we'll see this little one as well, because Bitcoin's been going through this. Okay. So right now, guys, we are hitting close to that 382 we got up to. We wicked up to the 50. And now we're working in between the 236 and the 382. So I'm going to be looking, guys, somewhere in that 2.3 cents to 2.0 cents, somewhere right in there, could potentially start laddering some buy orders down. Okay? So I'm going to be looking at that. And obviously, guys, anything can change at the drop of a hat. So you got to do your own technical analysis. You got to learn this stuff. It's really important. But I think the next all-time highs is going to be something special, because you can see this here, guys. We had this whole market cycle that came up, then we came back down. In this market cycle, let's check it on the fib. So we were down right around in here. We went up, and it's funny how these things work out, guys. This 0.886 to a T right there, and then we continued to move sideways, which we're kind of doing now, and then we had that massive explosion up. And always remember to take those profit, guys. When something's going straight up like that and it's staring at you, you got to take your profits, okay? So that one retraced 886, and then this one here, see what that retraced. It actually broke down through the 886 just a little bit, but it was pretty close. And then we made that move up to close to the 618. And our all-time high, guys, just so we check here, was around that 14 cents, 13 and a half, 14 cents. So if you're able to get Digibyte at 2 cents and goes up to 14 cents, I mean, you guys have 7x'd your money, which is, that's awesome, guys. You gotta remember, you know, 20% gains, 30% gains in a normal year in the stock market. That's pretty impressive. So you gotta realize that we need to take our profits when they're staring us in the face. And look at this volume that came in too. So you see this stick right here, guys, and not a lot happened here. This was basically foreshadowing what was going to happen, because this volume came out of nowhere. And one day right there, you can see how low it was, then boom, all of a sudden hit. That's the time you want to get in, right there. And then look what followed it. But you see how low this volume has been since then? We'll just look at the overall volume. You see that? So we want to see another one of these monster spikes, one of these sticks right here, guys. And when that happens, it's most likely time to get in. Okay? Then here we go. You can see this overall lower trend line that we're holding too. So we're just slowly working our way up, guys. And you can see when this happens, it happens really fast. We could explode right back up. And if we can get past this 5 cents here, there is so much room to run, because there was no basically support that happened on the way down. It went up really hard and it went down really hard. And when that happens, there was no support being built. So once we get past this 5 cents or so here, we can fly all the way up to the all-time highs, because there wasn't a lot here. It just dropped so fast. So, you know, guys, I'm going to continue to keep my eye on it. I'll continue to keep you informed. You guys let me know if you still love the Digibyte, all that type of stuff. You guys know it's one of the coins that I like. I like many others as well, but this is one that I really think is going to be good, and there's going to be a lot of potential gains from it. So if you guys could like, subscribe if you want me to continue to do these Digibyte videos. What I'm thinking about doing is putting like Litecoin, Bitcoin, Digibyte, Omisego, some of the other ones that I like together, and just doing it all in one. But we'll see. It's just been so crazy with my business and my son being born and everything else, all the stuff we have to do around the house and taking care of property. And, you know, it's just studying, guys, so I can bring this stuff to you. And, you know, I want to be able to be here to put out as many videos as I can. But, you know, things get in the way sometimes. Life gets in the way. But I hope you all have a wonderful day. God bless each and every one of you, and take care.